Well, hi and welcome back. And I'm here today with Clara. Clara is graduating from your Passing the Torch mentoring program, year-long program, and it's been, I got to tell you, it's been incredible to be with you and the other teachers. And I've just been so struck by your willingness to go into vulnerable places and really develop yourself, really looking at what's important to you as a teacher, and really standing for your own growth, but also how you've always looked to how you're contributing to other people too. So it's just really beautiful to be with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I wanted to kind of get a sense of, first of all, you can kind of see that Clara and I are here with the Fascial dog set up. And there's a reason for that. Because as a runner, along with being a teacher, you're a mom, and so you run a lot. But you're also a serious runner. You really love running. And I know that you shared with me when we first started the program how there were just so many things that felt imbalanced for you even though you were, strong Pilates teacher and that. So I'd like to kind of have a sense of what you feel has opened for you, and then we're going to demonstrate and show people how the Fascial dog has been a platform and is a platform that we use to really create. What do we mean by internal lift? What do we mean by extending from whole body, feet, hands, head, that helps your Pilates practice really develop and helps you get the advanced work in such a profound way? So just a couple things before we start.
Yeah. Sure. And once again, I have so many things popping into my head. But on a personal level, Wendy had asked us earlier this year to talk about movements that nourish us or movements that don't. And I had to come to the realization that actually my running was not nourishing for me. I have a really tight Achilles tendon and a tight hip, and I had just sort of been pushing that away. I had my Pilates practice and I had my running, and was trying to find this balance between the two. And working, especially this last week, we've really gone deeper into how whole body movement is something that you work on in the studio, but then you take with you into your life. And so finding these ideas and concepts when I'm running or just walking, or as really, even in just this week, transformed my running. Every day I've been running while I'm here and kind of reporting back of, I noticed this or that from these different movements. And then just another note about, as an instructor, one of the reasons that I wanted to do the mentorship program was I just really wanted to go deeper into Pilates. And just these concepts have so much come to light for me now, especially what we really mean by whole body movement. It's not just you're on the reformer and someone says your rib cage is stiff, or you need to pull in your ribs, or do this or do this. It's how do we set ourselves up and move in a way that you don't actually have to just think of rib cage. You can think about your whole body, your hand and your foot connecting and everything together, right? Instead of piecemealing.
Yeah, beautiful, Clara, beautiful. So that really takes us into, here we go with Fascial dog setup, because how do our hands, we're looking at how we are the environment is part of us. And so the setup, which this is something simple you can do anywhere with a chair, a bench. I mean, I've done it in a park, airports. It doesn't really matter. A hotel room. You just use whatever is there, and it is enlivening. It's amazing enlivening practice. So let's begin hand to foot. We're also really looking at how gravity, so as Clara is releasing down into the chair, ground reaction force or lift from the lift from her feet, the lift from her hands is enlivening her spine. Going back, right, so she's just getting the initial setup of, this is what we call phase 1 in the Fascial dog. Opening the hands, opening the feet, opening the body to breath. So you allow your inhale, exhale, and find your hover. Heavy head, heavy tail, pause, and just feel the heavy heels. So notice how without effort, she's gotten lift here. And then from that breath, begin to float and Beautiful, Clara. And feeling heels heavy. So show the difference, Clara, in lifting your heels too high. You can feel how when your heels lift high, see when your heels are up, you feel how it's all in here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now let your heels relax. And you see how she's still got a lifted heel, but the lift is coming from the arches. It's coming from the domes of her feet. And, right, going forward. Now pause, and then come back. So we're just going to do that 3 times. As your heels touch, your knees go forward, sit bones move back. Now there is more spine opening. That's it. Feel how she's getting the waterfall, the relaxation of hand through the sit bone down to the feet, and how the lift from inner ankle will take you forward. Yes. Inhale, exhale, and pause. And then from there you float and come forward, and just go to where the shoulder blade to deep belly is connected, and then inhale and you float back. Exhale, heels touch, knees go forward. So feel how there's a soft ankle releasing the heel. This time you're going to phase 2. Same hover from phase 1, but right here she comes forward, you look up and you open up to core, the upper core support. Right, so the back of her arm is really connected, hips coming toward hands, and then from there reach through your right leg and look left, reach to your left leg and look right, and just feel the spiral. It's a natural spiral. It comes from foot to head, deeply toning and strengthening the arms in relationship to upper core. So you're opening the lungs, softening and widening. It's like you breathe behind your heart. It's a deep organ toning and strengthening. And then you look down and come away from hands, right, and go back into the squat, which is getting deeper and wider. One more of those. Right, everything is opening, and you can feel it. Breath is awakening, hips are opening, shoulders, chest. Right. Notice how her hips are coming toward her hands as her heel goes back. That's a distinction of really lifting up. She's opening up her hips without stretching one muscle or trying to get something. You're balancing your body. That's what's distinct about thinking from whole body core coordination. Beautiful. Yes. Excellent. And then come up to standing. Wonderful. Already feeling so good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good just watching you.
Yeah, well, it just enlivens the breath. Like you feel that whole body breathing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's show the setup for the phase 3, which is a rotation. So now Clara's going to have one foot down on the floor in a lunge, knee forward lunge, and the back heel is touching the wall. You can do this without a wall, but and your heel's up on the wall slightly. Right. Yes. You can do it without a wall. It just feels so good. You get a lot more feedback from the wall. So notice how she's reaching forward and then coming back. That's really important to get the 2 directions of the spine. The reach through the whole foot, the lift through the inner ear. Right. And then Claire's staying neutral, staying here in a more level, more horizontal position to the pelvis as she goes up and down. So this is a really, really excellent float in creating space on this right hip as she inhales and takes her heel up. Keeps the heel up and then releases down as the hip stays up. The hip stays up, up, up as her heel goes down. It's that feeling of opening up. Yeah, and shoulder blade to deep belly, support, right, and then you spiral. As you spiral, here's a deep toning of how the movement, notice how we felt in phase 1 and 2, we had movements that were like elephant, they were like knees off, knee stretches, they were like up stretch. This is so much all the lateral movements that we do in Pilates. Right, and feel the lift. Now let's show it. Inhale, soften your knee. Exhale and feel the inner thigh through inner belly opening, and there's the spiral. Her arm gets connected. This arm gets connected to her standing arm. So now she's got deep connection from the shoulder through the standing foot, from this hand to this reaching leg, core coordination through the center of her body. Very, very powerful. And then that hand goes down and counter spiral. So now you're toning the standing leg internally, externally, in not just the hip flexors or the internal, external rotators, but you're connecting fascially from foot through the torso, through the lumbar-dorsal fascia, the back body, which creates movement, which is our contralateral gait, primal movements. Beautiful, Clara. Yeah. And wonderful. That foot comes to that and come up to standing. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Other side. Beautiful. Notice how Clara went forward to send her leg back. That is moving from your spine. Very, very important. And moving from gravity, the foot sends you forward and then reaches your tail back. Right. Creating space on this side. She's going on the ball of that foot to lift up. Keeping the hip up as you exhale that heel down. Wonderful. That's it. Yeah. And then when you're ready, you count your spiraling. Right. Beautiful. And you feel how, what does each side want? You know, where does that foot want to be? And what tells that foot where to be is this hip. We'll keep, yeah, see how it's just, your hips are asking, they're opening, and that moves. Rather than putting your foot somewhere and inhibiting your body, you have your internal support move your foot in relationship to what it wants. That's it. Yes. Right. Reaching through and beautiful. You can see how she's very connected from her arm down to that standing hand. Right. And notice that she's got shoulder blade to deep belly, which allows her head to move. This is very important. Can your head decouple? Can it move freely? Or is it locked into too much stabilization? And then that hand goes down, and you counter rotate. Wonderful. Yeah. And she's just looking for, what does each side want? You know, what does it need? Right. Yes. Feeling the foot to head. It's beautiful. Yes. Wow. Ooh, that felt great.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just in it.
Feels so
in
good.
it with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So say some things that you notice, because you're very much in your body. You love being, you love movement, you love Pilates, you love being in your body. You know, what have you noticed that the Fascial Dog has kind of helped you to refine?
Well, I would say it helps me really listen to my body. And I mean, I think at the beginning of this year, we talked a lot about biointelligence versus biomechanics and listening to your deep inner teacher. And to be honest, at first I sort of thought, I don't know what she's talking about. But as the years gone on, I mean, exercise or movements like this and really letting yourself be in the breath, like you can see, you know, when I'm, you know, walking my foot around the wall, that's me listening to my hips and to my body, not having to listen to you or to a teacher telling me your hips aren't in the right spot. It's really allowing myself to feel what I'm really going for.
Fabulous.
And doing this here, just it informs so much of the other exercises. I mean, one problem I have, right, or issue that I work on is I get a lot of tension in my rib cage. You know, I've had children, and finding the hover here, you can harken back to this in knee stretch, like you mentioned. I mean, in almost every movement on the reformer, you can start to find this whole body movement instead of just focusing on one
Yes.
area.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful what you're saying, because the movement back and forth, phase 1, phase 2, sets you up from grounding to lift in the upper core to then be able to go into a deeper spiral. And as you mentioned, one of your challenges has been very hypermobile in your upper body, you know, from your deep yoga background, and that just really, really able to go. And yet to have too much compression in your lower body, and so they kind of fight one another. And it's been beautiful to really see that merging.
Yeah.
See the merging and the communication, and now you're really in your deep power.
Yeah. I mean, it's so great on so many levels. It's wonderful just personally for me to feel empowered in my own body, but then also to really feel it, to be able to take it back and teach others this is really exciting.
That's the best.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's the best.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much, Clara. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.